everybody. I hope that you had an awesome weekend. Even the Saturday felt like winter. And I hope you got to celebrate mom or someone who's been a mom to you in your life. I had a really nice Mother's Day, and there's a big WWE match on inside. So I came out here to do a recording for you guys to introduce the senior memoir assignment, which I am assigning to you today. I talked to you about this in the beginning of this unit, and to me, this is going to be the best assignment that we do all year. I look forward to this, and this year, even more than any other year, I feel like it's going to mean so much more for you guys to do this, because we're all sad about the way that this year is ending and everything that has been taken from you guys, but that was not your whole high school experience, and that is not your future. So this project gives you guys the ability to kind of record your memories, the things that meant something to you, the people who impacted you, the lessons that you've learned. And this is something that you get to keep and something that you'll look back on. And I think that I told you that my students, I've been doing this since I became a senior English teacher. So since the beginning of my career, 12 years ago, I did this with my first class, and it was way different then. They were like scanning pictures in their IMC, like using a scanner, and then uploading it to the desktop so they could save it and put it on a video. Now 90% of my students do it from their phones. It's a lot easier, but I figured we have a lot more time on our hands right now, and this is something that's going to be really meaningful. So I have the requirements right here, so I'm going to be looking back and forth to just kind of explain it to you. So obviously you have the requirements in front of you, but I wanted you to hear it from me too. So there's two parts to this assignment, and the first part is a paper. That's your only assignment this week. I know, paper. Ms. Jahn, you're assigning us a paper. We're on quarantine. We're all mad. I get it. But this is not your typical paper, okay? First of all, CP, I'm asking for 1 to 2 pages. 1 to 2 pages. That is not a lot. Honors, I'm asking for 2 to 3. 2 to 3 pages. That is not a lot. And this is the easiest paper you're ever going to write because it's about you. It's about, so forget my rules about no personal pronouns. You can use I, you can use you. All of those things are out the window for this because it's a personal memoir. So you can answer all of the questions that I've listed. You can focus on a few of them. You can answer other things. You can there's no wrong way to do this. So my questions that I posed was, what have you learned in high school about yourself and about others? Who has made a difference and impacted you? So a lot of people kind of take each of these questions and write a paragraph. What do you believe in and why? So that's formatted after the This I Believe essays that we read. Include lessons that you learned throughout your 4 years. So what have you learned about yourself, about the world around you, and what you've been through? Everybody's been through different things. What does your future look like? So a lot of people end their essay talking about their future. And you can talk about different things. You can use quotes from people. You can talk to your family and get their input and include what they say about you. There is no wrong way to do this paper. So I will send you a very not specific rubric because this is not a paper that I'm grading in a tough way and that I'm killing you on grammar and all those things. This is more about you writing and you reflecting on all of these things. So that's part 1, and that is due Monday, May 18th. So you have this whole week and next weekend if you want to work on this. And again, CP, it's 1 to 2 pages, double spaced, and honors, it's 2 to 3. So this is not a big paper. Okay, and then part 2, and then, so you'll get those in to me. I will read them. That gives me a little bit of time to read them. These are my favorite ones that I read all year. Then part 2, visual aid. So I have attached to this document some examples from previous years that were done really well, but obviously my requirements, I changed them for this year. So those are going to be longer. Those are going to be more complex. We're not in school, so Captain Obvious here, we're not in school. So the requirements are a little different. So the visual aid can be done in any way. There's no wrong way to do this. I've had students who have interviewed teachers and family members and put the interviews in there. I've had students who have, maybe something that they did was super important to them, like karate or dance, and they included clips of those. My athletes, a lot of them include clips of their sporting games and events and things like that. So this is a visual presentation of your life. Does it have to be freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year? No. Does it have to start from the beginning of your life to ending in senior year? No, there's no wrong way. A lot of people like to start with a few kid pictures, baby pictures. That's fine. Some people like to go in chronological order. Fine. Some people like to break it up into categories. Like, here's my family, here's my friends, here's the lessons that I've learned. Fine. You don't have to do any of that. Every single project is unique to each student that does it. And that's the best part about these. So you can combine pictures, videos, you can do voiceovers, you can have words on the screens, quotes on the screens, lessons you've learned, people who've impacted you. You can end with your future plans. A lot of students end with like a slide or a picture about what they're going to do in the future. And there are many programs that you can use for this. You guys are more tech savvy than I am. So every single year, my students up the ante with this project, and I'm more and more impressed. So a lot of students use iMovie if you have an iPhone. Adobe Spark is awesome. That can be on your computer or on your phone. There's so many different, like if you look in like video creating apps, and they're free. And like I said, they're so easy. I had a lot of students that were just able to do this on their phone real quick, but I hope that you take time to do it, because this is something, and I put on the requirements, that this is something that not only are you going to keep, but this is something that your family's going to treasure. And they watch it and they cry. And then in 10 years, you're going to send me a message and say, Ms. Jahn, I'm so glad that I still have this, because this is, to remember high school by. Because like, I remember high school, but I wish I had something like this to show what I thought was important then, and who was important to me, and who I was as a person, because obviously I'm very different now. And so this is something that you're going to keep. So I hope that this is kind of like healing to you guys to do right now, because this is supposed to be fun and you're home. So get your family involved if they're able to. Help each other. There is nothing that moms or dads or aunts or uncles or grandparents love more than going through all your little kid pictures and pulling out stuff and talking about your life and who you've become and why you've become that way. So be creative, have fun. Presentations for CP, I'm asking for it to be 3 to 5 minutes. So I've lowered that requirement because of the circumstances. And honors, I'm requiring it to be 4 to 6 minutes. So my plan for this, and this is going to be due Monday, June 1st. Paper first, all of this week. Then you have the rest of May to work on your visual aid. And obviously, like, you can, I'm going to check in with you and you can ask me questions and all of those things, and we'll do a little of this I believe in there. We'll do a little last lecture in there. I think Mr. Mack's going to record some of him reading last lecture. I'll record some of me reading last lecture, and we'll post those and talk about them. But these are the two main things that we are doing from now until graduation. So I want you to take a look at the examples if you need to. You can also on YouTube type in like senior memoir, township senior memoir, Mrs. Jahn senior memoir, and a lot should come up. And I also did this at Delsey, so you could even look then. But every single year, these get better and better. And I'm really hoping that this year, because I went back and forth in my head, like, do we still do this? Because I know you're all sad and I know you're all upset and I know everybody just wants to throw in the towel. But I feel like, yes, we do this. This is the perfect thing to do. This is when we look back and we say, tough stuff makes you who you are. How many times did I say that this year, right? It's the hardest things that we go through that really make us who we are. So this, while I don't want this, this is obviously sad, and I don't want this project to be sad. I want this project to be uplifting and to show what an accomplishment that this has been. But, the end of your senior year is significant, and this loss is significant. And you're allowed to feel sad. So let's take those feelings and put it into something positive and put it into this project. And I can't wait to see them. So my plan is when they're, the paper's personal, right? We're not posting the paper. You're going to send that to me. Or you're going to turn it in on Schoology, and like, I'll just read it for CP, Mr. Mack, and I will read it. But the video, I'm hoping, as long as everybody is okay with it, we'll post it in more of a public way to our classmates so we can view each other's in the last couple weeks of school. That's usually the way I spend my last couple weeks with you, is viewing each other's memoirs. Everybody cries and everybody laughs, and it's like my favorite thing. So I'm hoping that we can do that too, just this way. So those are usually the best 2 weeks of our year. So I just wanted to get on here. I know this was kind of long. I'm sorry. But today your only job is to kind of read through these requirements, start planning your paper, and to watch this. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I think this week's going to get a little nicer and we're getting into nicer weather. So I hope you all get some fresh air and get outside. And I miss you all. I miss your faces. Send me any questions that you have, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.